Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about fishing jerkbaits. It's mid-fall, early winter. If you're fishing for largemouth bass, you need to have a jerkbait on your rod at all times. Today we're going to talk about what happens between the jerks. And these are some very subtle things that we'll be talking about, but I guarantee you, if you fish these for a while, you're looking to catch a few more fish, it's what happens in the pause that's going to help you to put more fish in the boat. So let's get into it. We'll talk about the subtleties of fishing jerkbaits. When you're fishing jerkbaits, it's important to start off with a long cast. The longer the cast you get, the more water you're going to be able to cover. You'll be able to get that jerkbait down into the strike zone, whether it's 2 to 4 feet or 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 feet deep. You'll get it down in the preferred strike zone and you'll be able to cover more water. There we go. All right. Okay, I've got my bait out and there's two different subtleties that we'll talk about here. Here is the twitch and the pause without reeling, twitch and the pause without reeling. And generally what you do in this is you twitch it, pause it, take a couple of cranks of the reel, twitch it, pause it, take a couple cranks of the reel, twitch it, and pause it. Now that is good for a bait that you want to give you a walking action because you're snapping the bait and it's giving you a very erratic action. That's a very good retrieve. But there are some days when the fish do not want that erratic reaction. So what we can do to keep that bait from walking is as we twitch the bait, we slowly reel back down to the bait, and if you can see the tip of my rod, I'm moving it to the bait and twitching it again. And then I'm reeling down slowly and moving back to the bait. I'm not snapping the bait on a slack line. When I'm giving it the twitch, it is on a taut line. It's just kind of walking. That can be very important on certain days. The other thing that's important about having communication with that bait when you are twitching and reeling back down to it is you have a better feel for it. When you have a better feel for the bait, there's a lot of times when you'll have a fish come up and touch it, just smack it a little bit, and it doesn't take. On a slack line, you won't feel that twitch, or you won't feel the fish come up and grab that bait and spit it. I think it's important because the more opportunity or the more knowledge that you have of fish coming up and looking at it, hitting it, missing it, not completely engulfing it, that gives you the knowledge that there are fish out there. You have to do something different. Maybe it's a faster retrieve, maybe it's a slower retrieve, maybe it's a situation where you have to change the color of your bait or the size of your bait. But by twitching and leaving a slack line, you're not going to feel those fish that are coming up and just bumping the lure. By twitching it and reeling it down to the bait and keeping contact with that bait, you have communication the whole time and you'll know if a fish grabs that thing or misses it, or a lot of times even swims by it. You'll just feel that, bait movement down there. One of the other advantages of keeping a taut line as you snap and or twitch and reel back down to it, as you're feeling that bite, you have a little better of idea of when to set the hook. Now a lot of guys will tell you they just want a swing set when you're using a jerkbait. What I like to do is as I'm reeling down, I feel that fish twitch, I'll take a couple of quick reels. As soon as there's weight on the rod, I will actually set the hook. I like to set the hook on fish. I know I get a good hook set. So many times when you do this swing set, especially if you have a fish that's not over maybe 2 or 3 pounds, the fish is going to jump and it's going to throw that bait. If you do get that snap of a hook set, and we're not talking about a punch bite hook set or a worm hook set, we're talking about, just a good healthy snap so that it sets the hook, you're going to catch a lot more fish and you'll lose fewer fish. And that's the way you do it. All right, thanks for watching, guys. A little bit to think about when you're using jerk baits. Sometimes it's the subtleties. It's not the big things. It's not how fast you're moving it, how hard you're snapping it. It's what's going on in between the snaps. In between the jerks is very important. So thanks for watching. Go out and fool around with some of these things that we talked about today. I think it'll put a few more fish in the boat for you. Good luck. See you guys on the river.